Welcome to the Game Tackle, where we blitz every down and call it like we see it. I am Donji alongside B-Trill and Dylan. The NFL offseason has officially started, and with that comes all the pressures. Tonight, we're talking the offseason consequences, draft momentum, and the biggest sports headlines of the week. And I've got a flag on the play that may hit a little deeper than usual for Miami Dolphin fans. So there have been reports that the Baltimore Ravens have had an agreement in place to send 2 first-round picks to Las Vegas Raiders for Max Crosby. That's 2 first-round picks. And then they backed out late last night. Now the Ravens walk away untouched, and the Raiders, they're left trying to explain what to do. So here's the real question. Is this just a smart front office business move, or is this just a way that the NFL teams nowadays are conducting business? What do you think, fellas?
No, I think, they definitely saved some money and saved some draft picks. So the Ravens, they, not in the right way, but they won free agency. They were able to get a Pro Bowl pass rusher without spending the 2 first-round draft picks, and they saved about $8 million overall because it looked like Crosby was going to be 120 over 4 years, and Trey is only going to be 112 over 4 years. So save a little money and 2 first-round draft picks. That's a huge win.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. It kind of sucks for the Raiders, They thought they had a couple picks coming their way, and now they're kind of screwed out of that deal. They had a lot of signings in between that it doesn't look right, but that's just how it goes. I think the Ravens did do a good job, though. I mean, they did what anyone else would have done. So,
all right. So with that being said, I got to ask you guys the questions. If this doesn't work out for Baltimore, what do you think the outcome will be?
I mean, I think that if it doesn't work out, I think they're still in a good spot. After signing Hendrickson, they recouped their 2 first-round picks, which they could also use to gain more potential players, such as A.J. Brown still, having difficulties in Philly. They could trade for him, but if it doesn't work out, they're still retaining the draft pick. So I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, not to mention they do save a little bit of cash on that as well. Sure, let me flip it to you, though. What about the Raiders? What do they do to try and recruit something that they really had no control over?
Yeah, so what Dylan was saying earlier about the Raiders is that they made a lot of signings. They spent a lot of money because they thought they were getting off the books with Max Crosby. Now he's coming back. As of right now, he has to be on their books as we just started a new year. So at 4 o'clock, they had to be compliant with cap. But yet they just made a whole bunch of signings. So I don't know. What do you do? Do you tell a couple players, hey, sorry, we can't sign you until, but are they going to hold off? Are they going to sign with another team? But one sneaky thing is that, it's kind of dirty. It's kind of dirty.
I agree. I totally agree. So hopefully they can restructure some of those new deals that they made, technically because they weren't dotted by 4 o'clock. So hopefully they can find a way to work out because, like you said, they were kind of done dirty. All right. So we got to pay some bills, and we'll be back in 1 second. And when we do come back, we're going to have a 2-minute trill. Be sure to stay tuned. Welcome back to the Game Tackle. Now, this time we've got a 2-minute trill. And trust me, you want to hear what's going down around the sports community today. B-Trill, what do you got for us, bro?
Yeah, so welcome in. This is B-Trill's 2-minute trill. So I'm going to go ahead and start the clock, and we're going to take a look at what's going on in the sports today. So right now, a lot of things with Eric DaCosta. So who is this man? He is the Ravens GM, and this is not the first time he's done some dirt. So we all know what happened with Max Crosby and those 2 first-round draft picks. Well, what happened with Zaire Alexander? He was shipped off and traded to Philly, but Alexander only spent 11 days with Philly before he retired. So as of right now, he's being officially blacklisted. There's talk around the NFL that a lot of GMs are done. They will not do any trades or any work with this man. So he's under a lot of heavy scrutiny. Also, I do want to talk about some history. So Bam scored 83 points, surpassing Kobe Bryant. With that, of course, he has broken some history. He is now the 2nd highest player. He's actually getting a lot of hate about this. So you would think today's day and age, we would celebrate those breaking history. But when he surpasses a legend that just recently passed, it's rubbing people a lot of the wrong way. So it's not a good look for him. One other thing I want to mention, though, is Geno Smith. Geno Smith was traded back to the Jets, where he started his career and was drafted. But if everybody remembers, he actually had an incident where he broke his jaw. He had an altercation stem over $600 regarding a plane ticket, regarding a football camp that Smith failed to pay for and failed to attend. So he missed 6 to 8 weeks, or 6 to 10 weeks, and ended up being traded overall. That's my 2 minutes of sports. Let's talk about it.
Geno Smith. Going back to the Jets, who originally drafted him, he left under crazy circumstances. I will say this. If you're a quarterback who ends up getting decked in the face, broken jaw, and then you're the one that's traded, I mean, that has to say something about how that team really feels about you. Now, granted, I will say this. It's a different team, different regime. So we'll see if it pans out this time, I guess.
It's the same old Jets. It is the same old Jets.
I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, Dylan, I want to talk to you. You, I hear, watched the game live. So, being in Miami, what is the energy like down there right now, and how did you feel watching the game and actually experiencing history?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to start this off by saying that 24 hours before Dwayne Wade came out on social media and decided to say that there was no buzz in the city. How does the Heat respond to that? Bam drops 83. The city is buzzing. The city is buzzing. It doesn't feel any better, for it to happen to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat haven't had, this much talk since with the signing of Jimmy Butler, or even before that, So having Bam to do that for the city, 83 points in a game, I mean, astonishing. I mean, it's unreal. The buzz in the city is amazing. I know a lot of people are going to talk about the free throws and all this and that, but we got to stop that. We got to talk about what he actually got to, because that's what matters in this situation is the 83 point, not how he got there. Is he got there, right? So, man, it's just amazing. It's electric.
Yeah, 36 free throws. I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, there's still a lot of points that you score beyond that. So it's history. I like it.
All right. So that is some of the stories that are going around today in sports. We'll be right back after we take this quick commercial break. Welcome back to the Game Tackle. This time we're going to shift to the future. Dylan, let us know what is cooking up in this year's draft.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, man. Welcome to Dylan's Draft Watch, guys. I've got a couple sleepers that you guys are going to love. First up, I got Tyrant Montgomery from a Division III college, John Carroll University, that is. Only about 20 Division III players got drafted in the last few decades, but this guy's making noise. Last season, he snagged 119 catches, over 1,500 yards receiving, and 15 total touchdowns, earning All-American. Across his career, he's had 188 catches and 32 touchdowns at John Carroll, and he's even shined at the Senior Bowl this year, a huge stage for a small school player. No combine invite, but that doesn't matter. Expect him in rounds 5 to 7, but his work ethic screams steal. Now, Desmond Caliborn is my second sleeper for you guys in this year's draft. Out of Wake Forest, he racked up over 1,200 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns last year. But here's the spark. He hit 22 miles per hour rushing on the field this year. At the combine, he ran a blazing 4.37, third fastest running back at the combine. Think home run threat. With the running back class a little thin, he might jump into day 2 of this year's draft. Teams crave that speed, and I know one guy especially, and he's now coaching offensive coordinator for the Chargers. So from a D3 underdog to a speed demon, when Tyrant Montgomery or Desmond Claiborne get drafted, you'll be the one who saw it coming. That's what Dylan's Draft Watch is all about.
So let me ask you this, Dylan. What is a team that you think Montgomery might fit well with?
Montgomery, he's 6'1", 190 pounds, a great receiver, physical aspect to him, and he's got a little bit of speed. I think he would fit very well with teams that need a receiver right now. And, a lot of teams do need a receiver. But this team particularly has my eye, and I think it's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders in the late rounds.
Ooh, okay. All right.
So, yeah, with Desmond Claiborne, so what do you think about this guy? So, do you think he'll fit more as a change of pace back, or can he actually lead the way as a 3-down back?
I'm going to go more with chase the pace. I kind of look at him more as like a Devon Achane breaking away. I know Devon Achane's been used for 3-down back, but I think Claiborne is one of those backs where you're just lighting it up on the first down, second down, and you're trying to take it to the house. He's got that home run threat, and I know there's one coach that really wants that.
All right. Good stuff, fellas. Dolphin fans. I got a flag on the play that you definitely want to hear. So stick around and join us after the break. Welcome back to the Game Tackle, and I've got a flag on the play. And this one goes deeper than wins and losses. It's about legacy. The name Ricky Williams is synonymously attached to the Miami Dolphins. In fact, you can't think of one without bringing up the other. He's not just a former player, he's an era. He's a chapter in Dolphins history. Ricky Williams is second all-time in rushing yards in Miami Dolphins history, and he would have easily become number 1 if he had been allowed to finish his career in Miami. And let's not gloss over this part. He's the only Miami Dolphins in franchise history to ever lead the entire NFL in rushing in a single season. The only one. Not Zonka, not Brown, not anyone else. Ricky. In 2002, he carried the franchise. He was the offense. He was the identity. When you think of early 2000 Dolphins football, you think Ricky Williams. And yet, he didn't retire a Dolphin. Now I know some people are going to say, what about the suspensions? And that's fair. His career in Miami wasn't perfect. He was suspended under the league's substance policy at the time. But here's where context matters. The NFL's marijuana policy back then was completely different than it is today. Today, the league barely tests for it because it's not considered performance enhancing. But during Ricky's prime, it was treated like a major violation. And we also have to acknowledge something bigger. Mental health conversations in the early 2000s were not what they are now. Ricky has openly talked about his anxiety, pressure, and the weight of being the guy. Today, teams have mental health staff. There's awareness, there's support. Back then, not so much. So instead of asking, why did Ricky mess up? Maybe the better question is, did the league, and maybe even the organization, fully understand how to support a player like him in that time? Because if this happens today, does his career play out differently? And here's what really bothers me. His only regret in his career was not finishing a Dolphin. He talked about how much Miami meant to him. He talked about how much the fans meant to him. If the player still feels that connected, and if the fans still feel that connected, then why didn't the organization close that chapter the right way? Why not the one-day contract? Why not the proper send-off? Organizations talk about culture all the time, but you don't build culture by ignoring your past. You honor it. And I believe the Miami Dolphins missed the opportunity with Ricky Williams. So I ask you both, if this happens today, does it play out differently? And should Miami close a chapter the right way?
Oh, absolutely. As you said, we see it day in and day out each year. Players sign one-year contracts or one-day contracts just to retire with that team. Ricky, he's an icon. He will always be an icon with Miami. Some of the best days besides Tyreek Hill was watching the Wildcat offense, was watching Ricky Williams. But his mental health, it started when he was drafted. When you saw Saints, he had his helmet on and the visor doing interviews in the locker room. He had a issue with mental health. And as you see, we have players losing their lives over mental health. So I hope it would play out differently. I hope he would get the support and be surrounded by the help to keep his career thriving, but he needed space away from the game, and that's what he did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And piggybacking off what Trill said, if it was in today's world, I would hope it'd be different. But would it be? I don't know, because we've had a couple of players the past couple of years with mental health problems, and it hasn't really changed. I feel like the NFL needs to have a system for this, and I think they're starting to do that now and realizing that it is an importance to the league and it needs to happen. But so I think Ricky should have retired a Dolphin. I think he still should. I think the Dolphins still sign him right now. So
right. So we're all in agreement that Ricky should retire a Dolphin. So, Miami Dolphins, you've committed a penalty, thus earning you a flag on the play. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the Game Tackle. And now it's time for the all-out blitz. So, question of the day. Is tanking smart or is it a culture killer?
Yeah, I'll hop right into this. I absolutely think tanking is a culture killer. I think tanking should not happen across the league. If you get a new coach and, a new identity and they come in there and they're trying to do a good job and keep their job with how short these leashes are in the NFL, tanking's not a smart idea, in my opinion. It kills the culture. The fan base already goes in the season knowing they're going to stink, which sucks. I mean, you wait 248 days in the offseason to see your team and know that they're going to lose every game on purpose. It's a culture killer for sure. And it doesn't get the fans back on track. It instead divides the fans into these little sections. And, teams prevail whenever the fans are all in one section together and on the same page. So I think it is a culture killer.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I can see that part where it is a culture killer because players don't want to take. That is their stats. They put that on the field, and when they end their career, they want to have high numbers. They want to have good stats. So they're going to put it all out on the field. But with tanking, that comes from upper management. And we're already seeing the black eye that the Ravens are getting. We kind of see how those cheaters, Patriots, have prospered. So a lot of people do bend rules to bring home rings and championships. Unfortunately, we see it all over the sports. We see it with gambling. We see it with any different way that they can have an advantage for their own being. Unfortunately, we see it all over. We wish sports were more honest, but with the players, I can 100% say that, you know, all of them, they want to come up with stats and a good career. So
let me ask you this, Dylan. What if the team is in desperate need of a quarterback? Do you think they should just press on and try to get that quarterback at number 1 pick, or just play to win no matter what?
I feel like you got to play to win no matter what, because I mean, it really all depends what the fans want, right? Because the fans are what buys your tickets, the fans are what pays your salary, the fans are the fans. You know what I mean? So if the fans are all leaning towards one way and the other fans are leaning towards the other way, it doesn't work. So what you have to do is just go all out and say, you know what, we're gonna play football and we're gonna do it the right way, and we're not gonna do it the shady way. That's just my opinion.
So, yes, no, I do agree that everybody wants that top quarterback, that first draft pick overall. But if we look at history, how many number 1 overall quarterbacks have actually won it all? Who actually holds all the rings right now with the most rings? A 7th-round draft pick. So it's not always about that top draft pick that wins it all. Because the truth lies in the ball. And if you're kind of bending the rules, sometimes karma doesn't go your way. But the Patriots, man, the history, it's terrible to say it as a Dolphins fan.
All right, fellas, we'll just have to leave it there. And that's going to do it for this episode of The Gang Tackle. Thanks for sticking with us. And remember, blitz every down. We'll see you next time.
1, 2,